Welcome back to the Kneady Homesteader Channel, you guys, and today a highly requested video. And I am so sorry it has taken me this long. It is just one of those things that, you know, it's been on my list. And honestly, the thing that has held me off is I just have not had time to make homemade pie crust. So we're not even going to worry about that, because the whole point of this video is to make an easy, quick meal from home canned food on a busy school night. For us, it's a homeschool night, and something that just makes my life easier. I'm gonna show you guys how I throw together a homemade chicken pot pie using home canned ingredients. I'm gonna keep it to just home canned ingredients, even though I would love to add a little sweet pea to this and a little corn, which I have in the back note, background right here. I'm not gonna add that. I am gonna stick to home canned ingredients, and trust me, I thought, should I add it, should I not, should I add it, should I not? We're just gonna keep it out. It'll be okay, but we're going to use only home canned ingredients other than some milk, some flour, some garlic, some onion, and some butter, which I have to get out of the fridge. Did I get that? I thought I got it out of the fridge. I have to go grab that. So we're going to get this together in my, I've got like this round brazier. I think it's called a brazier. I bought it from Aldi. I think it was $30. They should be coming back in stock around Thanksgiving. That's usually when it comes out in stock. So I'm going to use this to bake it in. We're not even going to do a traditional pot pie. We're going to make it in that, and then we're going to top a pie crust on top of it, because it's super easy that way, and it's literally a one pot dinner. So you're not dirtying a whole bunch of dishes, okay? So I'm going to get you guys set up. I'm going to chop up my onion really fine and then get you guys set up over at the stove, and we're going to put this together. By the way, side note, as I just opened up my one jar with the Tatler, this Tatler opener will work for all of your jars. See that? So you can use it for all of your lids, not just the Tatler reusable lids. So I wanted to just to show that as I'm opening everything up here. By the way, I have celery, I have mushrooms canned in onion soup mix, along with carrots canned in onion soup mix, some greens that were canned with black peppercorns, of course my potatoes that we did together, and then over here I have a quart of chicken that was canned in chicken stock. So that is what I'm working with for my chicken pot pie. Again, you use whatever you have on your shelf. This is one of the reasons why I am such a strong advocate for ingredient canning, because you can turn these ingredients into anything as long as you keep them separated, right? So I'm not big on making, you know, soups and stews and canning it, but I'm big on canning things separate. And then if I want to make a soup or a stew, all I have to do is open up my my jars and make it fresh on the stove. So all right, okay, so the first thing that I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and turn my pot on medium. Okay, and to my pot I'm just going to drop in 2 tablespoons of butter, and I'm going to allow that to melt. Now while we're going to melt our butter, I have chopped up a small onion. It's a sweet onion, and I do it extra fine. And then what I'm going to do is take out one of my pie crusts, and I'm just going to set it over here. I'm going to open it up and then set it over on a cutting board. I'm going to roll it out, and then I'm just going to kind of let it come down to room temperature, or up to room temperature I should say, and then that way when I go to use it, it's not breaking, you know, it's not breaking or cracking on me. So I'll show you over here. I'll take you right over here. So I've just rolled it out. It's still pretty cold, so we're just gonna kind of let it warm up here. I do have a couple, because I like to do this for my kids. I do have a couple of little cutouts with leaves for the fall. So I'm going to cut a couple leaf patterns in here just to make it a little special for my family, because that's what I like to do. You don't have to do that if you don't want, but for me, that's what That's what makes cooking fun. So, all right, so now that this is nice and melted, I'm gonna go ahead and add my onion in here. Okay, like I said, I've got this over medium heat. And then I also am going to add just a little bit of garlic. Now, if you don't like onions or garlic, leave that out. You don't have to add that. So I just kind of want to saute these up a little bit until they're translucent. And then we're going to go ahead and make a roux and turn this into a pot pie. Okay, and then once I get that nice and just till they're cooked until they're translucent, I kind of push them off to the side. Now, mind you, I'm just a mom. So, you know, I'm not a professional cook. This is just how I do it, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and I add about 4 tablespoons of butter to the center of that. And I'm just going to let that butter melt. And then we're going to go ahead and add about 4 tablespoons, maybe 5, depending, of all-purpose flour to this. And once we get it all melted, we're going to just sprinkle. It's about 4 tablespoons. Sometimes I do 5, depending if I feel I need a little bit more. We're going to go ahead and add 4 to start. Right into that butter, and then we're going to give this a toss here. I don't want it super thick, but I don't want it runny either. So I'm going to go ahead and add just 1 more tablespoon of flour. And that looks a lot better to me. So that's the consistency I like to go. I don't like it super dry, and I don't like it super wet either. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to cook the flour. I know many of you already know how to make a roux, but I know there's a lot of mamas out there, and even young men. I even have some young guys who are just out on their own learning how to cook for the first time, or learning how to dehydrate, learning how to can. So I thought I'd throw that out there. So that's what we're doing right now. We're cooking that flour. And you'll know when it's cooked because it will smell nutty. Okay, so now I'm just going to use a silicone whisk. And now we're going to add about 4 to 5 cups of milk. Now you can measure. Go ahead and measure. Mama, don't measure. I eyeball everything, okay? I just have gotten used to cooking by look and by taste instead of dependent on my tools. But you're going to be adding 4 to 5 cups until you get a really nice thick, kind of like a gravy texture. You know, you're looking for a texture for pot pie. So as you see, this is really thick, but that's okay because we're going to add some more milk. I don't like to add all the milk at once. You want to just a little bit at a time, let it heat up, see how it looks. Now it's important that you cook the flour until it smells nutty, because otherwise this part that we're making will taste like paste. It will not taste good at all. It'll taste like raw flour. So you really want to make sure you cook that flour. Now I did drain all of my jarred food. Now if I'm making a soup, I will never drain it. I just dump all of the water that I've canned with in my soup because it's full of flavor. So the flavor from the celery and the carrots and the mushrooms, it just adds to the soup. But for this particular dinner, we don't really want that. So, okay, so now we've got a nice base here. So this is still on medium heat. and you're going to bring it up till it starts boiling and popping. And then what I do is I just turn it off the heat. And now this is when I'm going to season this. So some people like to add, like better than bouillon, a little bit of chicken base to this. You can do that. You can add the bouillon if you want, but you know, that's a little salty for me. I kind of watch our salt intake, so I'm not going to be adding any of that. This is what I add. We are going to add some pink Himalayan salt to this. And again, I don't measure anything, so this is going to be totally up to you and what you want to add and how much. I'm going to add some fresh peppercorn medley to this. I am going to add about, if I had to guess, a teaspoon of sweet basil. Anybody who's been following me for a long time, you guys know it's my favorite seasoning, and I love sweet basil with chicken. Especially cream products. It's so good. I'm going to add probably a teaspoon. That wasn't quite a teaspoon. No, let's say tablespoon of green chives, chopped chives dehydrated. I am going to add, I had to say, a pinch of nutmeg, because this is a cream product and any kind of cream sauce tastes really good with nutmeg in it. I'm going to do just a sprinkling of turmeric because I love it and it's really healthy, and I try to put it in everything that I cook. I'm going to add probably a tablespoon, I would say, of maybe a heaping tablespoon there of parsley. And then just for a little added extra flavor, I'm going to do probably about a teaspoon of granulated onion and a teaspoon of, well, maybe not as much, maybe a half a teaspoon, maybe a quarter teaspoon. Let's do just a little bit of granulated garlic. And that is it. So now I'm going to go ahead and just give this, now I've turned this off of the heat. So the key is to taste it. So that's why I'm always hesitant to give measurements, especially when it comes to seasoning, because some people like different seasonings, some people don't want that much salt, some people want more salt. So it all depends. But do you see the beautiful color of that? Do you see how it looks like chicken pot pie now? That's the turmeric in it. And that is the secret ingredient. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and just taste. And that is spot on. I don't like it too salty. And that's beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to take this out now. And now we're going to go ahead and we are going to start adding our ingredients, okay? All right, we're going to start with home canned mushrooms in onion soup mix, so it'll have little pieces of onion in there. Next, we're going to add in our home canned celery. Many of you asked me what I would use the celery in. I would not use this for chicken salad, but I would use it in a pot pie, and I love it in a pot pie. All right, home canned carrots. Now I can my carrots both, I use an organic petite carrot, so sometimes I slice it and sometimes I leave them whole. And in pot pie, I like to use the sliced. Next, home canned green beans. Canned with peppercorns gives it such a great flavor. I love home canned green beans. You will never buy another can of it again when you can your own. Next, home canned potatoes that we just did together. I'll leave that video up above. I'll try to leave as many video links as I can for you guys because we've canned all of this together. And then last but not least, home canned chicken. Now, I like pretty chicken. I par cook my chicken thanks to Bumblebee Junction. who did a fantastic video on it. And so I boil my chicken. I cut it, the chicken breasts, so that they're nice and pretty. I also rinse it so the jars are pretty. It doesn't have a lot of snow. And the chunks are beautiful when they come out of the jar, and they hold up beautiful. So that's how I like that. Now, like I said, you want to add corn to this. You want to add sweet peas to this. It's not quite going to be the same without peas and corn, but we're going to just stick with home canned pot pie for you guys. So I'm just going to kind of wipe the edges a little bit. And then that is it, you guys. That easy. Literally took me 10 minutes to do. So I'm going to take you now over to my cutting board. So with my dough, I just rolled it out a little bit more because my my circumference, I have my lid here, of my pot is a little bit big. So I wanted to make sure that it would fit. And then I'm just going to take a couple of these. I think I might do this one in the center. I'm going to do one here. Just a couple of cute little cutouts. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my rolling pin and I just roll up my dough nice and gently. And then we're going to take it over and we're going to unroll it onto our pot. All right, here we go. Right over. Just like that. And then you can cut off the crust if you want, but I think my children and my husband would revolt if I did that because that's their favorite part. So what I like to do is I just turn and twist it. Just turn it under and give it a pretty little twist, almost like a little rope. And it doesn't have to be perfect, right? Your family doesn't care if it's perfect. They just care that it looks pretty, it smells good, and it tastes even better. So, like I said, you don't have to do this part. This is part of, I just enjoy cooking for my family. For a long time, I didn't know how to cook. And I was the hamburger helper queen. And so, this stuff makes me happy. So, all right. Now, I'm going to get out an egg and do a little egg wash on this just so that it browns up really pretty. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to add a couple of those cutout shapes back onto this. And this will give a really pretty golden brown and it'll make it look a little shiny. So it's a really simple step just to make your, it really does make a difference on your crust. I like to do this with bread too because it's those little touches, you know, it doesn't take much extra, but the results are wow. And nobody will know you cheated with a store-bought crust, which I ran out today. You know, somebody left me a message and said, did you forget about the pot pie? You didn't forget about the pot pie. And I felt so bad. I was like, oh, I just haven't had any time. I really haven't had any time to make pie dough. And you know, you gotta freeze the butter and the lard and then make it and then pack it in the fridge and let it sit, and I just keep forgetting to do that. So I felt so bad that I was like, you know what, I'm gonna run to the grocery store right now and grab some stuff, because this was the only thing that was holding me back, was the fact that I just don't have time to make crust right now. So we're just gonna add. And it doesn't even matter if it's a little broken or a little, it doesn't matter. Trust me, your family will not care. They'll look at this and they'll just say, that's so pretty. Okay. We're gonna just give those a little brush with the egg too. So, that is it, you guys. All right. I'm gonna lift you up so you can take a look. And now I'm going to put it in a 400-degree oven, and that's where it's going to bake for about About 50 minutes or so. Take a look at it, keep an eye on it. Everything in here is cooked. You just want to heat everything through really well. And you'll be able to tell. The crust will be nice and bubbly and brown, and this will be bubbly, and you'll be able to tell when it's done. So I'm going to put it in my oven, and I will let you guys know how long it takes to bake, and I will bring you back when I bring it out, guys. And there it is. When you see that it's nice and bubbly and golden brown, you know it's good. It's good and cooked. All right, so now I'm gonna serve this with a little side of mashed potatoes, and when I serve this up, I will bring you back, and maybe we'll get Matt to taste test it for us. So right off the bat, we're gonna apologize, Matt, because you know the first piece is the ugly piece.
I don't care.
Usually the piece that Dad gets. Okay.
I don't care.
Here you go.
I took my glasses off because it's so steamy and hot.
It is very steamy. And now this isn't something that I make very often anymore.
In fact, it's been a long time.
It's been since last
It's been a long
winter.
time.
Yeah, last winter. I think I did this.
And
like
I'm excited.
Last fall maybe. So it's been a minute. We just don't eat like this anymore. So this will be a treat. And then you and I will have to go for a walk tomorrow.
Yeah. Tonight.
Tonight. Oh, all right.
Bundle up. Okay.
Go ahead. Now, not homemade crust, but almost homemade. Semi-homemade.
Yeah, there you go. Just like that.
Make sure you get a piece of chicken, because that's home canned chicken. It'll burn your lips off.
You probably will.
Oh. Well, I'm sorry, babe. You took one for the team.
Fantastic.
You took one for the team.
Fantastic. Awesome. I mean, just the consistency of the gravy is just fantastic. I mean, look at it. It doesn't drip. It's not liquidy. It's nice and thick, but it's not like super gooey and thick. I mean, it's just perfect. It just sticks to everything.
And it's a pretty color if you add just a pinch of turmeric, which is Mama's secret.
That's nice, yeah.
All right.
I mean, it is. It's just it's great color, and the consistency is awesome. It just sticks to everything.
Well, thanks for taste testing it for us.
Yeah. Hold on, mushroom.
All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. Sorry it took me so long to make this video. I hope you guys give it a try. I hope you enjoy it. And now I'm gonna serve up the kids, and my canner is going, and busy night still ahead. All right, guys, I will be seeing you soon. All right, bye, guys.